What's going on, everybody? This is a roaming prepper. Thanks for joining me today once again for my updates on what's going on in the world. Today I want to talk about what happened in Philadelphia. So, up the Delaware River, there was a chemical spill from a plant. It wasn't vinyl chloride, it was some other chemicals that were dropped down well and into the water. And as it makes its way to the reservoir, the city of Philly told the residents, go get bottled water. When you have a city that big, all going to get bottled water at once, you can imagine what happened. Let's talk about what people could have done and what you can learn from it. And once again, we're going to take it from a perspective of sanity and planning and not freaking out. I'll be right back. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to share, it's always appreciated. And of course, if I don't get to attend my own premiere, which sometimes happens, be sure to put your questions in the comments below the video. Or if you just want to say hi, you can put your comments there as well. And, we can continue this conversation. So I had made a previous video when my water in my area out here in West Texas, the water main was destroyed. Basically, a whole city of 300,000 people lost water at once. That was a construction accident, okay? And I know it was a construction accident because in the local news they said, "Oh, these guys over here broke the water main." So I got my hard hat and my steel toes, put them in my truck, and I drove to the construction site. I was gonna get down, but turned out I didn't have to, because you could clearly see where the water was coming up, and you could see all these engineers and construction guys in their hard hats kind of looking down in the hole where they broke everything. And there's some city guy there in a city jacket, and he's like this with the other guys. Not a happy city engineer for a lot of reasons. Obviously a screw up. But it was a great dry run, no pun intended, dry run on what to do if the water drops out. Now, we've had experience in this before because we went through multiple hurricanes. But it was interesting because it's just two of us, plus the dogs, which any of you who follow me know about my dogs. And I learned a lot of lessons. It's in the other video called Real Life Lessons. But I also want to talk to you now about things that you should be thinking of and just refresh everyone's memory. So this is really a refresher course. So one, you should have enough water for a minimum 72 hours. Most typical city responses, like the busted water main, is going to be 72 hours. Because it takes about 24 to 36 to figure out what the hell happened. And then it takes a couple of days to get engineers, heavy equipment, they reroute water, they shut things down, bring it back up, purge the lines, etc. So there are a couple of things you need to keep in mind, especially if you own a home, even if you rent an apartment or you rent a condo or whatever. There are a few things you should keep in mind. So one, have bottled water, both in small bottles as well as the 5-gallon jugs for your drinking and cooking use. Okay, and this should be filtered water, decent quality water. Make sure you factor in your pets. One of the things I didn't do was I didn't factor in my pets drinking from that water as well. Because I have they're smaller dogs, but they're still dogs, they need water, and we're in a dry environment. So we all dehydrate, including the humans and the dogs. So that was the first thing that you need to keep in mind. The second thing you need to keep in mind is to have water available for sanitation. And when I say sanitation, washing of dishes, flushing of toilets, and washing of hands and faces. This does not have to be bottled water. You could simply get a big blue water square, whatever the hell, the water bricks, or even those collapsible camping udders, the cows, whatever you want to call those. Fill it with tap water. You can fill it in advance and then make sure you either treat it for long-term storage or spill it out on a recurring basis and refill, spill it into your garden or whatever, or repurpose the water and then refill. So you have the ability to flush. That was a mistake my daughter and her fiance made during the Texas freeze. They had water with which to drink, but they had insufficient to fill the potty to flush the toilet. She said it got kind of raunchy in that apartment. Lesson learned, she now has enough water. Perfectly good test run for her. And they learned a lot going through that experience, also watching other people's mistakes. They picked up on things they needed to do. Third of all, if you have a way to filter water or you have a way to treat it with pills or whatnot, always a good thing. Now, whether you're using a Berkey or you're using any one of those, water flow type filtration systems, or even if you're DIYing it or you're using an ETA, have some options if you have to take rainwater or some other standing water and filter it for some kind of purpose. Have a little bit of bleach available so you can treat and or purge water. Remember, if you get those big Kool-Aid coolers with a little spout at the bottom, you put a cup of bleach in there. Not suitable for drinking, that's too much bleach, but it makes a great hand sanitizer if you can't wash your hands regularly. Remember, a lot of infections, this is not a COVID thing, but a lot of infections often occur because you touch something contaminated and then you eat and you ingest the garbage. So trust me on this one, you want a way to wash your hands and your face to maintain hygiene. And lastly, planning ahead, right? When you go shopping, grab that extra case of water, grab that extra bottle, 5-gallon bottle. When and where you can fit it in your budget. When you do these things, you help yourself be ready. Again, 72 hours is a starting point. Even 24 hours is better than none. And if you're really on a budget, get the big containers or save your soda bottles, wash them out with Dawn, fill them with tap water, and then spill them out every couple of months or if they get funky looking. Again, anything you can do to have a reserve of water will make a huge difference in what you're doing. So folks, that's it for tonight. Until next time, God bless, be safe, and learn lessons from what's happening to other folks. My prayers go to everybody who's dealing in Ohio and in Philly, wherever they may be. But learn lessons from this in case it happens in your town. Until next time, I'll see you. God bless, and be safe out there.